Welcome back. Now, Eicher Motors is the next stock which is currently on our radar right now. The company's November sales came in muted but largely in line with street expectation. The pressure continues in the higher range of truck segment, while the lower range truck and bus sales have seen some improvement. To talk more about the numbers, we have with us Vinod Aggarwal, MD and CEO of VECV. Mr. Aggarwal, thank you very much for joining in. So while on a year-on-year basis, we are seeing a pickup in the overall numbers, month on month, there is a fall. So this month, we're at about 5,600 units. In October, it was 7,100. In September, it was 7,600. Are we seeing a slowdown per se? And what can you guide for the full year?
First of all, I think in the commercial vehicle sales, it is never seen month on month because November is traditionally a lower month. October is festive month, numbers are higher. September is also first half end, so therefore numbers are high. So November, if you compare with the previous year November, then the situation is not so bad. So therefore, I will not take it as a sign of that the industry is not growing or it is going to go down based on the month-on-month figures.
Okay.
You have to look at year-on-year. And year-on-year, as far as we are concerned, we have grown by 7.5% in November, even though our sales were just around 5,500, but we have grown by 7.5% as compared to November of last year. Similarly, yes, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying that even the industry also, year on year, for the month of November, the industry was flat. It was almost same numbers as were there for the last year. But then, of course, that was driven more by the buses growth. The growth in buses in November was 33% as compared to previous year November. Whereas there has been a drop of around 4-5% in heavy duty trucks, similarly around 4-5% in light and medium duty trucks. So therefore, the figures are driven by growth in bus sales. So based on that, year on year also, the industry overall 3.5 ton and above, that is down by around 2%, and whereas we have grown by 2.6%.
Okay. So looking at your numbers then on a year-to-date basis, right, about 7 months in, your total sales are up 2.6%. Domestic sales are only up 1.3%. So is this low single-digit 1-2-3% kind of growth expected for the full year, FY25? And what is the expectation for the industry, your company and industry?
As far as this overall performance of industry is concerned, I think this year the industry has not done as well as was expected in the beginning. Of course, there are reasons. One is that the traction in the infrastructure investments, that has been slow to take off. And now, of course, we are expecting that there is going to be a lot of action in balance 4 months, because if we have to catch up with the expenditure on infrastructure projects for the Government of India targets, I think a lot of action will be there in these balance 4 months. And similarly, you will see more buying happening based on that. So therefore, balance 4 months, we are expecting that there will be better growth in the industry. However, at the same time, last year also, these 4 months were very strong. So therefore, maybe there will be a little bit marginal growth only, because last year also base was high. So overall, you will see this year will be a sort of a, you can say, a stagnant year, or full year will be very, very marginal growth. And as far as we are concerned, we will do slightly better than the industry only, because first 8 months also we have done better, and balance 4 months also we expect to do better. However, at the same time, the growth figures, you also have to see with respect to the tonnage growth. Even though the numbers growth doesn't look so well, but if you convert it into metric tons based on the capacity of trucks that are sold, I think there is a good growth in the metric tons, because a lot of migration has happened to the higher tonnage trucks. Like, for example, a lot of migration has happened to tractors, which is 55 ton. Similarly, in the light and medium duty trucks, lot of migration has happened to 18-ton trucks, which is medium-duty trucks.
Right.
So on that migration, the overall tonnage growth is there, even though numbers growth look to be very, very stagnant.
Okay, we get that point. Mr. Aggarwal, hold on to that thought. There are important flashes at the bottom of our screen. The announcement with respect to Mr. Devendra Fadnavis being the Chief Minister for Maharashtra is expected very shortly because his name has been proposed in BJP core committee meet today. So we will be expecting that announcement shortly, and that is an important update, something that the Maharashtra government has been talking about for a while after the election results, and there had been no clarity on who would this chief minister of the state be. But it looks like today there could be a final name that could come out, and it looks like it is Mr. Devendra Fadnavis would be named as the Maharashtra CM shortly. So we'll keep updating you on these important political updates as far as Maharashtra is concerned. Mr. Aggarwal, let me come back to you. You spoke about you'll grow faster than the industry, and second half is when you're seeing that capex which would come back. The last 4 months would be strong as well. So Ashok Leyland in the Q2 call had mentioned that they're expecting an industry growth in the second half to be around 6 to 7% and full year to be around 0 to 3%. Will you do better than these numbers? That is what you mean. And what would the overall CV outlook be for the business?
Hopefully, if you look at our track record, we would like to maintain the same track record. So first 8 months, we have done better than the industry. Industry had dropped by 2%. We have grown by 2.6%. So I think we would like to keep the same track.
So you will do better than the 6 to 7% industry growth that your peers are expecting?
6 to 7% looks to be difficult, as I mentioned a little while back. It will not. The growth will be less.
No, I meant in the second half, Mr. Aggarwal, not for the full year, but for the second half.
Second half also, like first 2 months has been very muted numbers. First 2 months, October and November. So, and as I mentioned last year also, the 4 months, the base was high. Like for example, heavy duty trucks. Last year, December to March, it was 100,000 units sale. So this year, these 4 months, I'm expecting it will be almost similar, maybe 100,000 or 105,000, which will be just around 3-4% growth. Or similarly, the light and medium duty trucks. Last year also it was around 40,000 units sale in December to March. So this year also it should be around similar. So therefore, last year also these 4 months were strong. So I am expecting it will not be a very high.
But so far this year, you've grown 2.6%, while the industry has degrown 2%. Yes. So there has been good outperformance. So why is buses doing so well? You've spoken about it in the past as well, and that momentum in buses continues. So what's driving it, and will it extend, say, to FY26 too?
Buses sale are driven by, first of all, the schools. Schools are buying more and more, and tier 2, tier 3 cities, there are more buying of school buses. Similarly, the staffing segment has come back because work from home is almost gone now. So a lot of people are now started coming back to offices, and a lot of buses sales are happening for staffing segment. Then intercity segment, the coaches sale, that also has come back. The state transport undertakings have started buying. That's why you see very, very heavy growth in the bigger buses. Heavy duty buses, the growth is much, much higher. It is almost 50% growth. When we say growth of overall YTD growth of 22% in buses, out of that, the heavy duty trucks growth, buses growth is around 40 to 50%. That is based on the STUI. So these are the factors which are driving the buses growth. And I am expecting next year also will be good growth in buses, because you will also have some more buying in the electric buses. So therefore, buses segment will remain strong.
This 22% is for the industry or for you? The expectation of...
I was talking of the industry. We have in buses, we have grown by around 12%.
Okay. All right. Take that point, Mr. Aggarwal. Thank you so much for joining in with all those details and the outlook going forward, most importantly for the industry and for the company as well. With that, we'll do one thing. We'll slip into a break. When we return, we'll discuss market technicals with Mitesh Thakkar and also talk about his top trading bets.
For 20 years, it has been India's most coveted stage for business leadership. The benchmark of unparalleled excellence.
We have to dream big and even bigger for India.
An accolade that celebrates character, integrity, and decisive action.
You just have to do your best.
Not identified by any single name, nor defined by a single achievement.
The best years are to come, and you don't have to wait for long, it's round the corner.
But redefined every year by visionaries who inspire and legends who lead. A journey that honors those who set the bar higher year after year. This is not just an award, it is a celebration of leadership in action. CNBC-TV18's 20th India Business Leader Awards.